Hi all, this is Anup here. My plan is to come up with a series of video tutorial on Windows Communication Foundation, and today I'm gonna take you through the very first tutorial of the series wherein I'm going to cover the basics of WCF. So let's get into today's session. So this session is going to be a PowerPoint presentation wherein I'll go through the basics of WCF. Why do we need WCF? Then a scenario-based study on before WCF what all options we had, and now with WCF what options we do have, and and then the all the basic concepts of WCF. Let's get into the contents. So the contents which I want to discuss today is what is WCF, then why WCF, then points to remember, which is basically the collection of points from the first two slides. Then, as I said, the scenario-based study of before WCF, the what all options we had, and with WCF, what all options we have, and then we'll go through the WCF architecture, which is basically an image I pulled out from the MSDN website. Then we'll go through the basic concepts of WCF, and then we'll have hands-on, which will probably be the next video tutorial. So now, what is WCF? So WCF is Microsoft's unified programming model for building service-oriented applications. So this particular model is built on Microsoft .NET framework, and it simplifies the development of connected systems, and it unifies array of distributed system capabilities in a composable and extensible architecture that support multiple transports, messaging patterns, encodings, network topologies, and hosting models. So if you reach combining all these 3 points, you'll see that WCF is Microsoft's programming mechanism for creating service-oriented application. It simplifies the development of connected systems, and also it supports multiple transports, messaging patterns, encoding, network topologies, hosting models, etc. So how we achieve this, we'll see, uh, you know, through each and every session in this series. Now, before that, we'll go to why do we need WCF. WCF can communicate using web service standards, interoperability with other platforms that also service SOAP. So basically, WCF is a mechanism which has backward and forward compatibility. So WCF can communicate using web service standards, and also it is interoperable with other platforms like Java or PHP or whatever, using HTTP SOAP and the old way which web service used to communicate. Second thing, can also configure and extend WCF to communicate with web services using messages not based on SOAP. So basically, you can create a WCF application, and then you can configure it to work with uh, the other applications which communicates using protocols which is not SOAP based. Third thing, it supports a large set of WA specifications and provides reliability, security, and transactions when communicating with any platform that support these specifications. So basically, WCF gives a lot of option to its clients. It supports multiple protocols. It provides a large set of web service specifications, and hence the clients who are interested to use all these things can communicate using those mechanisms and can have a reliable, secure transactions with the WCF service. And finally, WCF also gives the option for queued messaging built on top of Microsoft Message queuing, which allows application to use persistent queuing mechanism. So These are the basic reasons why you should go for WCF. So combining the points from these two slides, uh, these are the very simplified points from these two slides. WCF service is going to be a standalone service. It's going to be a service library on its own. Like we create a say we create a business layer, you create a data access layer. So these are all going to be standalone layers which other layers can use. So similarly, WCF service is going to be a standalone layer and has nothing to do with web as such, or say remoting as such. So we just say WCF service is a service library. So you use it as you like. So it has nothing to do with web, it has nothing to do with WinForms, or it has nothing to do with console application, nothing to do with Windows services, anything at all. So you can create a WCF service as a standalone service, and then WCF service can support various protocols. So it can support HTTP SOAP protocol, it can support NetTCP protocol, so it can support message queuing. So basically, it's a combination of all the distributed application mechanism which Microsoft used to provide before WCF. The third point, the WCF service can be hosted in IaaS, or you can host it in a Windows service, or you can host in a Windows application, or in a console application. So when you when you combine this with the first point, WCF is a standalone application, and it's up to whoever hosts the application to decide how do you want to host this application. So if you compare this with web service, web service was a service which is designed to work in a web environment, right? You cannot split a web service like, okay, IS hosting environment separate and the service separate. It's going to be a web service. It has the session, context, and all those things. But whereas here, it's going to be a standalone service. If you want to host it in web, yes, go ahead and host it in web. If you want to host it in a Windows service, yes, go ahead and host it in a Windows service. Just like that. So it's the first point, that it's a standalone service which can be hosted in any environment, is an important thing you need to understand if you are trying to learn WCF. It took me a lot of time to understand that particular thing, and hence learning WCF has got delayed accordingly. So that is a very important point. I'm just trying to reiterate it again and again so that you try to understand that. Now let's go to see this particular scenario. Uh, we are trying to have a solution to a particular problem. uh, Before we had WCF, then we will see with WCF do we have a better solution or we do not have. So here I'm having a travel website. uh, so I have a search mechanism which I implemented as a search web service. Then I have a booking mechanism which I implemented as a booking service. The reason why I developed this as a service, both these things, service, search and booking as a web service, is that I can expose this to external websites or applications which are like non-ASP, non.NET applications can also access this search web service and booking web service, and make use of that to make reservations, and I can charge them. So I had to host both of these as web services which communicates using HTTP SOAP, so that the interoperability with non.NET applications can be satisfied. So I have this web service which communicates using HTTP SOAP. So I will use this services as well as the external websites use the services, and I'll charge them for that. So the better part, money comes in from the external parties. Now consider I have a customer care application which is going to be an offline sales application, or an offline complaint mechanism, or online cancellation, sorry, offline cancellation. Everything comes through customer care. So the people who are not that used to web or do not believe much in using web can call up the customer care, and the customer care guy will again call the search web service using HTTP SOAP protocol, find out the correct reservation, and then use the booking service to do the booking. And apart from this, I have a backend operation application, say which does all the other things apart from the reservation and cancellation, say accounts, finance, all those things. So if you see, it's all fine. So I have a search the I have web service, so external guys will do that, even I will use that, my customer care will use that, my backend operations will use that. But if you see, everybody works communicates using SOAP protocol. So why should now if you see customer care, they use HTTP SOAP. If you use backend, they use HTTP SOAP. If you see my travel website, they use HTTP SOAP. If you use external website, they also use HTTP SOAP. So what performance will I get for my customer care and backend operations if they also work using HTTP SOAP? My performance will be as equal to the external websites which are sitting in another external networks. So if I think from a performance point of view, I can say, okay, my customer care and my backend operations, as well as all these things sit in the same network. So why should I get the same performance as these guys? I should be taking advantage of the same network, and then I should work out on my performance improvement, right? So